But hey, let's see what Biden got to say. This is our president, your president. You elected this man. You did this. This is your president. This is his farewell address to the nation. To the nation. All right. Apparently, he made some dire warning to the country that we all should be concerned about. And I don't think he's reading off a teleprompter. He's probably reading off a teleprompter. We definitely need some speed here. 1.25 may not be enough. Let's go 1.5 speed. 720. Is that all we got? All we got is 720 from the White House. The White House can't give us 1080p. I digress. Okay, let's get to it.
I'm speaking to you tonight from the Oval Office. Before I begin, let me speak to important news.
Wow, he sounded a lot more confident on 1.5 speed, doesn't he?
From earlier today. After 8 months of nonstop negotiation, by my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas, the elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed.
This kind of feels like AI. When at 1.5 speed, it kind of feels like AI. Let me go to 1.25.
Because that's how it should be, working together as Americans. This will be my final address to you from the American people from the Oval Office, from this desk as president. And I've been thinking a lot about who we are and maybe more importantly, who we should be. Long ago in New York Harbor, an iron worker installed beam after beam, day after day. He was joined by steel workers, stonemasons, engineers. They built not just a single structure, but a beacon of freedom.
Okay, I need some more speed. Let's go custom. Let's try 1.35.
The very idea of America was so big, we felt the entire world needed to see. The Statue of Liberty, a gift from France after our Civil War. Like the very idea of America, it was built not by one person, but by many people, from every background and from around the world. Like America, the Statue of Liberty is not standing still. Her foot literally steps forward atop a broken chain of human bondage. She's on the march, and she literally moves. She was built to sway back and forth to withstand the fury of stormy.
We're not going to watch the whole thing, don't worry. I just want to see the part where he's talking about his concerns for the nation and the warning that he gave.
Weather. To stand the test of time. Because
unless y'all want to watch the whole thing, I don't know.
Storms are always coming. She sways a few inches, but she never falls into the current below. An engineering marvel. The Statue of Liberty is also an enduring symbol of the soul of our nation.
Okay, can we skip a little bit? Let's skip this a little bit. Let's go let's skip like a good 2 minutes. Maybe he's off that topic. Let's see. No disrespect, all due respect to the Statue of Liberty. I heard it was pagan though.
After 50 years at the center of all of this, I know that believing in the idea of America means respecting the institutions that govern a free society. The presidency, the Congress, the courts, a free and independent press. Institutions that are rooted,
Wow, that's funny that he wants to talk about free and independent. He wants to talk about free and independent press. When Mark Zuckerberg literally just went on Joe Rogan and said that Biden and his administration would call the moderators at Facebook, cussing them out if they did not censor and remove certain stories. Very interesting.
Not reflect the timeless words, but they echo the words of the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, rooted in the timeless words of the Constitution. We, the people. Our system of separation of powers, checks and balances. It may not be perfect, but it's maintained our democracy for nearly 250 years, longer than any other nation in history that's ever tried such a bold experiment. In the past 4 years, our democracy has held strong. And every day I've kept my commitment to be president for all Americans through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history. I've had a great partner in Vice President Kamala Harris. It's been the honor of my life to see the resilience of essential workers getting us through a once-in-a-century pandemic, the heroism of service members and first responders keeping us safe, the determination of advocates standing up for our rights and our freedoms instead of losing their jobs to an economic crisis that we inherited. Millions of Americans now have the dignity of work. millions of entrepreneurs and companies, creating new businesses and industries, hiring American workers, using American products. And together, we've launched a new era of American possibilities. One of the greatest modernizations of infrastructure in our entire history, from new roads, bridges, clean water, affordable high-speed internet for every American. We invented the semiconductor, smaller than the tip of my little finger, and now is bringing those chip factories and those jobs back to America where they belong, creating thousands of jobs. Finally, giving Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices for millions
Hold on, it's coming. It's coming.
of seniors. And finally, doing something to protect our children and our families by passing the most significant gun safety law in 30 years and bringing violent crime to a 50-year low, meeting our sacred obligation to over 1 million veterans so far who are exposed to toxic materials, and to their families, providing medical care and education benefits and more for their families. You know, it will take time to feel the full impact of all we've done together. But the seeds are planted, and they'll grow and they'll bloom for decades to come. At home, we've created nearly 17 million new jobs, more than any other single administration, a single term. More people have health care than ever before. And overseas, we've strengthened NATO. Ukraine is still free, and we pulled ahead of our competition with China, and so much more. I'm so proud of how much we've accomplished together for the American people. And I wish the incoming administration success, because I want America to succeed. That's why I've held my duty to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition of power, to ensure we lead by the power of our example. I have no doubt that America is in a position to continue to succeed. That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern.
Uh-oh.
This is a dangerous concentration, and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people.
Ooh.
The dangerous consequences.
No. 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 You need to name some names. You need to name some names. You sitting here telling us that you're deeply concerned about a rooted concentration of power within the hands of a few very wealthy people? Name some names, sir.
Their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead.
Or is he talking about the oncoming? Is he talking about Trump administration? Is that what he's talking about? He's talking about Trump's administration? Is that what he's referring to? Yo, chat, y'all gotta help me out. I'm kind of slow sometimes with this, political stuff. I'm still learning. Is he talking about what is he talking about?
We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before. More than a century ago, the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy, just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to. Workers want rights to earn their fair share. They were dealt into the deal, and it helped put us on a path to building the largest middle class, the most prosperous century any nation in the world has ever seen. We've got to do that again. In the last 4 years, that's exactly what we've done. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules, pay their fair share of taxes.
That's a very funny statement. Listen, pay your taxes, right? Right? Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, right? Pay your taxes. I'm not telling you not to pay your taxes. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting because the United States can't even balance their own budget. Trillions of dollars in deficit. Y'all can't even balance your own budget. That's all I'm saying.
So much is at stake. Right now, the existential threat of climate change has never been clearer. Just look across the country, from California to North Carolina. That's why I signed the most significant climate and clean energy law ever in the history of the world, and the rest of the world is trying to model it now. It's working, creating jobs and industries of the future. Now, we've proven we don't have to choose between protecting the environment and growing the economy. We're doing both. The powerful forces want to wield their unchecked influence to eliminate the steps we've taken to tackle the climate crisis, to serve their own interest for power and profit. We must not be bullied into sacrificing the future of our children and our grandchildren. We must keep pushing forward.
It's not CGI. That's why I said it kind of feels like, it's real. Y'all think it's real? It's real. It's real. It's real. I don't believe in climate change. How is he talking so fast? I have it sped up. You want to see how he really talks? Here. This is how he really talks.
Forward and push faster. There's no time to waste. It's also clear that American leadership in technology is an unparalleled source of innovation that can transform lives.
Y'all see why I have it sped up, right? Yeah. Let's go back to the speed, please. They should have hired me to be, Biden's, image consultant, because I would have had every one of his speeches on at least 1.35 speed minimum, because it adds a layer of confidence that he's been lacking for this entire term, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
We see the same dangers of the concentration of technology, power, and wealth. His farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about, and I quote, the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power, end of quote. 6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech-industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well.
Okay, specifically, what are you specifically speaking, Mr. President? If you have these genuine concerns about these dangers rooting in technology, specifically, what is going? And I'm not asking you to compromise national security. I'm not asking you to do that, but you got to give us a little bit more. You got to give us a little bit more than just these vague talking points. And this is my frustration. It's like, it's so vague, it's so surface level that it comes across as disingenuous. Like, give us a little bit more. Let's see if he gives us a little bit more.
Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies, told for power and for profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable.
Okay, he gave us some more information.
Protect our children, our families, and our very democracy from the abuse of power. Meanwhile,
but I don't know, it's crazy. Like, everyone's so afraid of TikTok. Everyone's so afraid of TikTok. China has all our information, and China is using all this information, and it's the biggest threat to our national security in human history. TikTok, 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 TikTok. Everyone's so afraid of TikTok. And to their credit, to their point, TikTok does have an uncomfortable amount of information about its users. It's uncomfortable. They have it's outrageous. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. It is. It is. It is. But at the same time, this is America. People are going to choose to interact with the platform if they want to interact with the platform. And there's a lot of things that the government does on the low ski. There's a lot of things that the government does on the low that impedes on our privacy, but they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. So it is very interesting that the CEO of TikTok is going to be at Trump's inauguration. And still, a lot of people are uncomfortable about that. But, in terms of there's no fact checking and there's a lot of misinformation being spread on social media, that's a fact. There is a lot of misinformation being spread on social media. You can't just narrow it down to one social media platform, though. It's all social media. There's a lot of misinformation being spread on social media. But you know what else is being spread? There's a lot of truth being spread on social media that previously wasn't being spoken on because these individuals didn't have a platform to do so. So you kind of take the good with the bad.
Artificial intelligence is the most consequential technology of our time.
Uh-oh. This is what I was saying. Hold on, let me rewind it. He said AI. He said artificial intelligence is the most consequential technology of our time. Why is that?
Perhaps of all time. Nothing offers more profound possibilities and risks for our economy and our security, our society, for humanity. Artificial intelligence even has the potential to help us answer my call to end cancer as we know it. But unless safeguards are in place, AI could spawn new threats to our rights, our way of life, to our privacy, how we work, and how we protect our nation. We must make sure AI is safe and trustworthy and good for all humankind. In the age of AI, it's more important than ever that the people must govern. And as the land of liberty,
I agree with that. AI is dangerous. I think AI definitely has very useful cases. But this is a conversation that we had. This is a conversation, and this is just one example, just a small example. We were talking about that AI companion, that robot that they made. You can have an AI. You can give the company a picture of whoever whoever, a picture of whoever, your ex-girlfriend, your ex-boyfriend, whoever, somebody you have a crush on, whoever. You give the company a picture of this individual. They create a humanoid version of this individual, and then they give it artificial intelligent capabilities so that it can interact with you and be your companion. That's just one example of how humans take technology and pervert it. But that's always going to be the case. Humans are always going to pervert technology, and they're always going to use it in nefarious ways for their own benefit. This is always going to be the case. And we already opened up that door. You can't close the door to AI. It's already here. You already opened it. So I agree with him with that. But, what is he proposing from a regulation standpoint? What would that look like precisely?
America, not China, must lead the world in the development of AI. In the years ahead,
China already far ahead, though. China's very far ahead with AI. Just their whole social credit platform that they have, they literally have a system where if you cross the street, if you jaywalk, it'll read your face and it knows who you are. It knows your face. It knows it knows the pattern of your walk. It knows your mannerisms. It knows exactly who you are. And they'll deduct points from your social credit score based on how you act in public and online, in your workplace, wherever. That's pretty wild. That's pretty crazy.
It'll help it's going to be up to the president, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, the free press, and the American people to confront these powerful forces. We must reform the tax code, not by giving the biggest tax cuts to billionaires, but by making them begin to pay their fair share. We need to get dark money. That's that hidden funding behind too many campaigns contributions. We need to get it out of our politics. We need to enact an 18-year term limit, time and term, for the strongest ethics and the strongest ethics reforms for our Supreme Court. We need to ban members of Congress from trading stock while they're in the Congress. We need to amend the Constitution to make clear that no president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office. The president's power is not limited. It's not absolute, and it shouldn't be.
Why he ain't say some of these things earlier? You know what I'm saying? We need to ban y'all from trading stocks while you're in office. How come you ain't say this stuff earlier? You know what I'm saying? It's like you make all your bread, you do it all behind the scenes, and you let all your friends and all your people get rich and wealthy behind the scenes. And then on your way out, you say, oh, by the way, we probably shouldn't be doing this no more. But I ain't going to give none of it back or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, we probably shouldn't be doing this no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
And in a democracy, there's another danger to the concentration of power and wealth. It erodes a sense of unity and common purpose. It causes distrust and division. Participating in our democracy becomes exhausting and even disillusioning. And people don't feel like they have a fair shot. We have to stay engaged in the process. I know it's frustrating. A fair shot is what makes America America. Everyone's entitled to a fair shot, not a guarantee, but just a fair shot, an even playing field, going as far as your hard work and talent can take you. We can never lose that essential truth, remain who we are. I've always believed, and I've told other world leaders, America can be defined by one word, possibilities. Only in America do we believe anything is possible. Like a kid with a stutter from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, in Claymont, Delaware, sitting behind this desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. That's the magic of America. It's all around us. Upstairs in the residence of the White House, I've walked by a painting of the Statue of Liberty I don't know how many times. In the painting, there are several workers climbing on the outstretched arm of the statue that holds the torch. It reminds me every day I pass it of the story and soul of our nation and the power of the American people. There's a story of a veteran. This is a veteran, a son of an immigrant, whose job was to climb that torch and polish the amber panes so rays of light could reach out as far as possible. He was known as the keeper of the flame. He once said of the Statue of Liberty, quote, speaks a silent universal language, one of hope, that anyone who seeks and speaks freedom can understand. Yes, we sway back and forth.
Man, that man praising you. This boy praising the idols, the statues of liberties, and man, it's like you should have been praising God in that same way. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to normal speed just to make some of y'all upset.
To withstand the fury of the storm, to stand the test of time. A constant struggle, a short distance between peril and possibility. But what I believe is the America of our dreams is always closer than we think. It's up to us to make our dreams come true. Let me close by stating my gratitude to so many people, to the members of my administration, as well as public service and first responders across the country and around the world. Thank you for stepping up to serve. To our service members and your family.
Okay. All due respect to the service members, all due respect to the families of the service members, all due respect to all of our brothers and sisters who serve in the armed forces. All due respect. Nothing against y'all. I was just starting to get them boogers in my eyes again. He had some valid points, but then he also had some contradicting points, which is politics. That is the game of politics. You know what I mean? I'm very interested to see what happens at the inauguration. I'm very interested to see how that all plays out. Because